Hey there everybody, Teehashee here, and when I woke up this morning, I saw this. So let's take a trip down memory lane. I started playing TF2 during the release of the Orange Box. Like Fish said in his video on this topic, I got Steam to play TF2, and now I have something to say about it. So let's see what we're here to save. TF2 has been in a bad place for a long time. Many of the current TF2bers that make content today weren't even playing, or at least weren't in production, when the last generation of content creators were already speculating about the game's decline.
So maybe you're not clapping and excited for me, but I mean, I was focused on the whole streaming for the month of May thing, and if you really want to look on the bright side, if I keep up this upload schedule, I will still be updating more than TF2 has. There's always that.
So let's talk about TF2 for a second. Since I started playing the game, I've never played with any mods. I never played any alternative game modes, and only ever used a custom server since the bot crisis started. TF2 is a live service game, with a free-to-play business model. Valve used TF2 to start some of the most predatory practices in the video game industry, like microtransactions and loot boxes. What my point is, regardless of how you feel about those things, they make this game a service that people are still playing and paying for. Valve still makes money off of the massive TF2 economy and profits heavily by keeping it on life support. They have a responsibility to their paying customers to divert their resources to this game.
Direct, kid! Dude, get poon. Not poon! Yeah, you can't stop me.
Nice work.
Contract
You're halfway there.
season over here, man. Wrecked! We got it.
Nice work.
We got it. That's it. Final contract of gunmetal completed. That's the final contract. That was the final contract. What am I supposed to do now? There's nothing left to do. There's no point. I'm lost. I seriously have no idea what to do. You know what? I guess there's always silly mods!
Now, I don't log on a lot these days, but as I said, I don't play a lot of the additional Gary's Mod nonsense that the community has added. I play TF2, and I main medic. I devoted a lot of time to becoming a competitive team player. Stuff competitive players or long-term players take for granted. Neither Valve or the TF2 community can forget what it's like to be new to a game as fun, competitive, wacky, and casual as TF2. I learned every map. I learned janky movement exploits used by other classes so that mine could perform better. And I still miss my crossbow bolts, because hit scan is for sissies. It's easy for a community to be hard on new players and to drive them away. But for TF2 and other games like it, that's not the case.
After so many years, the road has come to an end. Time to give up on World of Warcraft. Many of you may have seen floating around Twitter or on Reddit or on live streams, whatever it might be, is that we are stopping our coverage of World of Warcraft as of right now. This has not been an easy decision, as you can imagine. We have a team of people who work here now, putting stuff together for you guys to hopefully put a smile on your faces. That is all we aim to do. And in terms of WoW, we have to kind of stop.
So why is this here? Some of you will already know. Preach is an analogy. In the context of TF2, Preach is us. WoW is TF2. Later in this movie, Fish and Preach will both claim that their games are the best ever made in history. And they have a point. Even if it were the community's fault, games like WoW and TF2 would have died years ago. Content creators like Preach or Star leave these games because of the actions of the community in some part, but a much larger part goes with the industry. And unfortunately, Blizzard and Valve, good guy or bad guy perceptions, are not immune to the grossness of the video game industry, and both did way too little to fight its corruption.
Team Fortress 2 is my favorite game, and was quite possibly the greatest multiplayer game of all time.
Blizzard had no idea that they had just created the best game ever made.
Team Fortress 2 is not in the cards for 99% of Valve. For those at Valve that do care about TF, they are up against a company that has the ability to take away their pay or even their jobs if they deem that work a waste of time.
We have captured the control point.
This is my first time queuing up since Save TF2,
The control point is being captured.
but also in a while in general. Let's see what we can find. Well, it looks like there's already some issues in chat, but at least the server has humans in it. Cool, we have possession. And I have healing targets. I'm sure that sniper won't be an issue. Speaking of snipers. Well, this is what I came to find out about. Looks like the chat and I are on the same page. Now, I know you don't have to come to me for bot footage. I'm just making a point. One bot might not be enough to spoil your game, but it is definitely enough to ruin somebody's game, and is certainly killing Valve's game.
Now you go to the doctor, you walk in, the doctor prescribes you Team Fortress 2, you go down, your Team Fortress 2 clears up the rash. You're smearing that TF2 all over the rash, and it's filling, you're using a lot of the Team Fortress 2 tube of an anti-ointment though, and after like 3 or 4 years, you run out of the ointment, you go to the doctor says, oh geez, I'm running out of that TF2 medicine, right, this is all I got left, it's another 2-year supply. You take that 2-year supply, you're like, yes, I'm so fucking glad, you rub it more, the rash is receding, it's going away, and then the rash comes back up even worse after that, and you go back to the doctor says, I don't have any more Team Fortress 2 medicine, they discontinued that shit in like 2014, and you're like, oh, what do I do? This rash is starting to take over my body!